Softr has announced two amazing new features that I'm sure you're gonna like. With these new two features, you'll have more flexibility while building your projects inside Softr. The new column layout will give you way more flexibility when building new projects inside Softr. And this new filter will allow you to build even more powerful and customizable conditional forms. So, if you want to learn how to build more customizable page layouts and also how to apply these new filter options to your custom conditional forms, keep watching the video until the end because I have a full tutorial just for you in this video. Hi, I'm Caio Calderari from automationhelpers.com. We help businesses like yours grow by using the best tools for automation, portals, apps, and much more. Subscribe if you want to leverage tech to help your business grow as well. All right, Softr time. Let's dive into Softr and start learning how to use these two new amazing features. Okay, so I'm inside my Softr account. If you don't have one yet, just make sure to go check the video description section down below and register for free. The first thing that I'm gonna do is to start from scratch. So let's click here, start from scratch. Since I'm not gonna use all these pages for the tutorial, I'm gonna deselect all the options here and just keep the home page selected. Next, I'm gonna click here to create a new application. Let's do that together right now. If you also wanna follow along, you can do that on your own Softr application as I do it. We have here a new page. That's the home page, okay? So I'm not gonna use all the components that come by default here. So I'm gonna delete these components here. So I have a clean page. Once I have this clean page, now let's take a look at the new feature they just created. The new column layout feature, right? So let's add a new component here, add a new block, and we can find where it is located. And here on the side menu, we can see we have a new tab here called container, okay? So that's the new feature they've added to the tool, which is really amazing. We now have more flexibility to build different types of pages and combine components side by side. So let's take a look. We have, for instance, the 2 columns, the 3 columns, the 4 columns, and also other types of containers, right? So let's start with the basic one, the 2 columns. Let's just click here to add it to the page. And as we can see, now we have 2 places here, 2 slots, 2 columns that we can use to add new components. So we can click here and then the browse blocks sidebar will show up. And here we can pick all the options that we have available here. Now, pay attention that some of these components will require you to start your free trial. Why? Because you are gonna have to select a premium plan, okay? So the free plan won't work for some components. And once you see try free, it means you have to upgrade, okay? Either the basic or professional or business or enterprise plan. All right, so you can pick any plan here. Since it's gonna be a free trial, you won't be paying anything unless, of course, you continue with your subscription active. So you can pick any of these options to unlock premium features, okay? For now, we are not gonna upgrade. That's fine. I just wanted to let you know about it. Also, another important information to consider here is that at this point, we just have only certain blocks that fit inside containers. So if you don't see a specific type of component that you would see here when adding it to the page, it's because it's not allowed inside a column for now, okay? So let's click here again to go back to the list. So as we can see, we have a bar chart, we have a pie chart, and other options here. These would be very good and useful if you want to build a dashboard page, for instance, okay? We have other things such as item details, lists, grid, and we can also check other components available here under these categories, okay? These are the dynamic components available at this moment, meaning these components connect with existing data from our database. So if we want to pull information from an existing database, for instance, from our table, Smart Suite, or any other database, we can do that using these components. So the data coming from a specific database that we choose will be powering the specific components we are adding to the page, okay? Now, we also have the static components, okay? So let's click here. We have CTAs, and we have also custom code and other little components. To start testing this, let's add a CTA to this column here, okay? So I'm gonna click here. It will go right inside the column. And here I'm gonna add a image. Okay, so we are going to play with the static components first. So I'm going to add an image here, and that is it. As we can see now, we have two components side by side. So that wasn't possible until now, which is really nice. Now, let's continue taking a look at what features we have available here. So once we click on the component itself, we are going to review some extra settings that we can configure. For instance, we can activate title and subtitle. So if we need a title or a subtitle for this specific section, we can do that. So here I can change my title, and here I can add example text. And of course, I can always change the design for these elements as well. If needed, I can also use AI to create a title or description. That's really nice. And here I also have the layout options. So let's say I just added the 2-column layout, but I want to change that. So I can click here and change it to, let's say, 3 columns, even 4 columns, and even pick any of these existing options here. So this allows me to be a little bit more creative and have more flexibility while building page layouts. Okay, so let's disable the title and subtitle for now because those are not going to be required. And I want to show you something else. We have vertical alignment here, meaning that depending on the type of blocks and components that I add here inside each column, I can change their vertical alignment. For instance, let's say this image here, I'm going to click on the image itself. And let's say under styles, I want to reduce the margin bottom and the margin top. Now, once we change the padding, see that this now has a gap here. So how can I fix that? I'm going to click here to expose the container's features. And here I can change the vertical alignment to be centered. Okay. And I can also bring it to the bottom if that's the case. So this is also nice because it allows me to customize the components a little bit more. Now, we also have a little extra options here. So if we click here on the 3 dots icon, we can also move this to the right, or we can also move it to the left. Okay, so this is a good way to, let's say I changed my mind. I don't want the image to be on the right. I want it to be there on the left, so I can just quickly move the image to the other side. Another thing we have is an option to move this out of the grid, so this will go below, or I can also choose to move it back inside an existing container. In this case, we just have one, so this is the one we want. So we just click here and it will go back into the container, which is really nice. Also, if we want to add notes, we can do that. We can also, as usual, copy this component to another page or even delete the component entirely, okay? Okay, so since we deleted this component, let's add it again to the page. We can add a new one just so we see different components inside the page layout. And we can also, of course, customize this component. Let's say I want to change the background color here for the entire component. I can just use the color picker here and it will be customized. If we preview that page, we can take a look at how it's looking in real life when we render the page. And that's exactly what we will get. So this is very nice. It's very cool because now I can build different types of page layouts and I can also combine 2 different components side by side. And these are only simple examples and simple components. Let's say I want to add a new block here. I'm going to go to the container. I'm going to add a 3 columns layout this time. And now I'm going to select a few dynamic components. So for instance, I can add a list full of cards here. I can add the list details. And now it doesn't make sense maybe to have 3 columns. What I can do is to click here, change it back to 2 columns. And now I can have, let's say, the cards and the list here side by side. And this will give me the flexibility to build different types of applications. Of course, this example is not pulling any actual data from any database. It is just an example to show you how the new columns layout work, okay? But of course, you could customize this, bring actual data from your database, remove the filters, change all the fields here, and make it fit your specific project needs. How cool is that? Did you like this new feature? I did, because it will allow us to build way more powerful and complex page layouts. And honestly, guys, I think this is just the beginning. I'm sure the Softr team is preparing way more new features for us, and I hope to see this tool evolving and becoming better and better every day. All right, guys, now it's time to go for the second part of this tutorial. Now we are going to take a look at the new options filtering for conditional forms. That's also a very nice new feature they just added to Softr. So let's dive right in. Hey, are you enjoying the tutorial so far? If so, make sure to sign up for Softr using the free link available under the video description section down below. Register today and start using your free 14-day trial. It's important to note that we will need to upgrade our Softr account in order to use this new filter option, okay? So I'm gonna go to my account and click here to start a free trial. I can choose any of these plans and I will have my account upgraded for 14 days for free, okay? So pick any plan you would like to test. I would recommend you go with this one because it will allow you to test all the premium features. So just go ahead, click to start the free trial, and here fill out with your personal information, your credit card, the billing details, and click here to start the free trial, okay? All right, so I have an account here which is under the free trial, and now we are gonna create a new project, or you can continue on the existing project we were working on before, okay? So I'm gonna click here, start from scratch. I'm gonna deselect all the options, click to create the application. Once I'm inside Softr, I'm going to remove a couple existing components because we are not going to use any of them. And now I'm going to add a new block. The block that I'm looking for is under form, and it is the conditional form. Okay, so I'm going to add this to the page. And here we have our form. So to set up this form, we need to first define the destination, because this will unlock other options to customize how this form will work. So the first step here is to pick an option. We need to define which one is going to be our data source, where the information from the form will land, meaning the database we choose, or we can choose to send this information from the form to MailChimp, to MailerLite, to Zapier, Make, or even send this on an email message, okay? For this tutorial, we are gonna use the data source option, and we are gonna select a database source. In this specific case here, I'm gonna use Smart Suite as my database, okay? So I'm gonna click here to add a data source, and I'm gonna choose this option here, Smart Suite. Once I click here, I'm gonna click continue, and then it's gonna take me to my Smart Suite account. Since I already have a working Smart Suite account, the integration was already done for me. If you don't have a Smart Suite account, you can just go to their website, sign up for a free trial, and then continue the integration process. It's very easy to do. Once I have access to my account, I need to select what is the workspace that I'm gonna use. I'm going to select automation helpers. For the solution, I need to create a new project inside my Smart Suite account. I'm going to show you how you can quickly do that. I'm going to head over to my Smart Suite account. You can click here to add a new solution, and you can choose to start with the template or start from scratch. In my case, I created one from scratch. And the solution that I created is right here. It's called Softr tutorial. So I've created this database just to show you an example of what we can build inside Softr and how we can actually use the option filters. So we have here 3 columns, one for the title with a few cars and bikes. We have colors and type as well, car, bike, and a few colors to choose from. These are all single select fields with a few options inside. Now we are going to create a new column here. We are going to click to add a new field, and we are going to select another single select as well, okay? So here we are going to add 2 options, available and unavailable. I'm going to change the colors to green and red, okay? That's optional. I'm going to add this new field, and I'm going to select a couple options here for each one of the items. This one's going to be available, this one as well, this one as well, this one is not going to be available, and these other 2 as well. Okay, one last thing that I need to do here is to change this column name. Here it's going to be availability. I'm going to click to update the field, and I'm also going to add a couple more things here. On the type field, I'm going to add an extra option here, which will be truck. I'm going to change it to black and update. And I'm going to add a new extra records here. Truck example, for instance, and another one. I'm going to select a couple colors here, the actual type, and also the availability. Okay, so this is the context. We are going to build a form where a person can request a vehicle, okay? We have a few cars and bikes, colors, the type, and the availability, okay? We are going to go back to our Softr form, and we are going to tweak it a little bit. So we have here a heading section. I'm going to change the text here to request a vehicle. Now, once we change the title, we are going to change the text below. I'm going to say fill out the form and choose the options below. Now we are going to continue having the full name field. Under the section 2, we are going to change this one to be an email field, and we are going to leave this without mapping, okay? On a common scenario, we would map this to our database field, but since this is just a tutorial to show you the new option filters feature, we are not going to make this an actual working form. So I'm going to change this to email. We are going to add a new section here. And for this section, I'm going to select this option here, Dropdown, and I'm going to map this to our database item type. Okay, so it's going to bring all the information from our database automatically, bike and car. For the label, I'm going to say choose a type. And here I'm going to add a placeholder. Select one option. Okay, now I'm going to add a new field here. It will be another drop down. I'm going to map this to color, and it will bring all the colors available on my database automatically, okay? Now let's continue configuring this field. I'm going to type in choose color, and the placeholder will be select one option. And on the full name field, we are also going to change it to add your name. Hey, if you need help building a project or have any questions, we are here to assist. Visit our website at automationhelpers.com. We are offering free 30-minute consultation calls to help you get it done. So why not booking a call today? It's free, and the link's down below. All right, looking good. Let's now preview this form. Okay, so this is the scenario. We have a form where a person will request a vehicle. So they will type their full name, their email address, they will choose a type, which can be bike, car, or truck, and they will choose a color as well. Why are we building this? We are gonna test the new options filter now. This new feature will allow us to say, hey Softr, show a couple options here under the drop-down menu, but only the options that I want to display. So as we can see on our database, we have cars, bikes, and trucks. But let's say I don't want people to select trucks. Instead of removing this option from my database, I can just simply come here to Softr and create a new filter for this dropdown. Okay, so let's do that right now. I'm gonna go here under the settings, under section 3, I'm gonna select this dropdown, which is mapped to the type field, okay? And we can turn this option on and start creating some extra filters. This option here will allow us to either show or hide information coming from our database. All right, so we are gonna create a new condition here. We want to filter trucks, okay? So we are gonna select is not, and once we click here, we have a lot of options to choose from. We can use logged in user information, form answers, page URL information, or even get information from the URL parameters. In this case, I'm gonna use a custom value, okay? So I'm gonna type in truck, add it here. Pay attention to this. Make sure that the information you typed in here matches what's on your database, okay? So in this case, it's correct. Okay, so basically, we are creating a condition here. Only show options that match any conditions here. So basically, we are saying anything that is not truck, okay? Now, if we go back to our preview, we can see that under type, we only have bikes and cars. Another thing that we need to solve here is the colors. So as we can see here, we have a bunch of different colors. We are not going to consider the trucks, but only the bikes and cars. And as we can see here, we have blue, black, silver, and red, okay? But if we take a look at the form, we have other colors here. So we need to make sure that these colors don't show up. So to do that, we can simply come back here and we can select this other drop-down and create another condition. We are gonna click here, activate this option. Now I'm gonna remove all the colors that we are not using. Let's see here under the database, which ones they are. So we have yellow and green. Let's go back to Softr, and here we are gonna create another condition here. If option is not, and here the value is gonna be green, and we are gonna create another condition. If option condition is not a custom value, yellow. Notice that here we can select all or any, and we also can use if or. This will allow us to create different types of conditionals, okay? Let's change this to all. It means both conditions will be applied at the same time. All right, let's preview our form now. Once we click here to choose color, we can see that we no longer see green and yellow. We still see the red option here. So if we want, we can go back here and add another rule. Let's do that right now. I'm gonna click add condition, say is not, and add red here. Once I preview the application again, let's check the color field. As we can see, we only have black, blue, and silver. And that is it. Now you have a custom form with option filters applied to it. How cool is that? And with that option available, now we can filter options from drop-downs and create even more powerful applications and forms inside Softr. Amazing, right? I hope you can use this feature in multiple ways and build amazing projects with Softr. If you do, let us know in the comment section down below. If you want to keep learning how to use Softr, I have a special bonus for you. We have an amazing playlist full of videos just to help you on your learning journey. Dive deeper into this Softr playlist to keep learning how to use this amazing tool. Just click here and continue watching all the Softr videos we prepared for you. That's all from me today, guys. I hope you liked this video. Smash the like button if you did, and I see you on the next one. And remember, let's automate your business.